Good morning, everyone. I am Jonathan Little. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we are playing 4 tables, maybe more, of 50-cent dollar on CoinPoker. I'm going to be hopping in tables, getting in the action. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Pull this right up over here. Lots going on. Life is hectic / fun. And today, I'm excited to be here with all of you. Been back in New York for a few days. I've been a good boy. I've been at the gym every day. No drinking, healthy eating. Haven't played any poker, but that's A-okay. I'm here today to crush all of my students. We're playing 50-cent dollar. We're going to load up as many tables as we reasonably can. Raise in 3-bet from Jonathan Biggle. Jonathan Biggle's excited to play with me. They've been here all day. Waiting for me to show up and fold this King 10 suited. I hate folding. For those who don't know. I didn't really want to fold that hand. I thought about just 4-betting it. But no, be a good boy, Jonathan. That's so funny. I typed in password, and it won't do ASS because apparently that's a bad word. That's funny. King 7 suited is going to get played. I don't really see how I cannot play the King 7 suited. 3 big blind raise. We'll just make it 9, maybe 10. We'll do 9. King 7 suited is great. I'll play King 7 suited all day, every day. I guess I'll play this random table while I wait. Flop great. It's a very dynamic flop, so we probably want to bet on the bigger side, just in general. If we do decide to bet, obviously this hand is a great one to bet with. We will be against ace-high flush draw sometimes, but it's not the end of the world. With any luck, we're against Queen 9 of hearts. That time we were against nothing. Zip and pip, as the great late Mike Sexton used to say. If you've not read his book, check it out. It's called Life's a Gamble. I helped get that book together. My publishing company published it. D&B Poker. I thoroughly enjoyed the book. If you enjoy good, wild, crazy gambling stories, then it is for you. If you like a boring book with no pictures, then it's not for you. Actually, it has pictures of Mike Sexton in it. Would you believe that? Do you know he used to be a gymnast and a ballroom dancer, among other things? It's pretty cool, in my opinion. Ace 3 offsuit. I mean, look, maybe we can fold. Maybe we can 3-bet bluff. It's not a great hand. It's not a great hand. See, we're now live. Password is JL Poker Coaching. We'll just fold it immediately. This is a slightly bigger game down here, $1, $2. They do have a decent amount of action on CoinPoker. See if there's anything huge happening today. Sometimes they do. They have a few people waiting to play 200, 400 if you really want to get your gamble on. Who's trying to play 200, 400? Clicker. Clicker and Cracky Fisk. Fisk means fish, for those who do not know. Got some. Welcome to our new battle tables. Winning hands will be shown. Oh, cool. I like that idea a lot. Playing 25.50 over here. I might hop in if they get a lot of action going. Only have one buy-in in the account, so we got to be careful. I'm not trying to lose all my money. Seats, let's just do 7. Cool. Not too much going on at the higher stakes games, but lots of action at the smaller stakes games. CoinPoker now allows HUDs, apparently. I have no clue about that. Bring your HUDs. Feel inclined. No WPT gold. This is CoinPoker. WPT is a different site and company. You really need to improve your game and learn ranges. Learn about ranges. Well, check out pokercoaching.com and check out peakgto.com. If you really want to go deep on hand ranges, definitely check out peakgto.com. Seven five suited. Should we raise it? Not in GTO world, we shouldn't, but that's not where we're living today. Hopefully we don't get massively punished. We can call a 3-bet as long as it's not too big. Looks like we're going to get punished. All right, here we raise the 9s, get 3-bet. I mean, I think we can probably just 4-bet and get it in, but calling's obviously fine too. We get donk led into. I mean, call, obviously. Call and try to get there. We call the 3-bet, ace-8 to opponent checks. There may be some merit in a small bet, but I think checking's also fine. Facing the big bet here, we will just fold. Kind of an annoying spot. It's not really a spot where the opponent should be doing too much leading as far as I know. So when they do, they're way more likely to just have something, quote-unquote something. We'll call down here with a flush draw, of course. We make a bad flush. Wonderful. If they check the river, can we value bet? What are we trying to get called by? Pocket kings, ace, something. If they make a shove, it's pretty rough. They check, though. I'm not sure if we need to value bet this or not, because if you consider the 3-betting range, we're really trying to get called by what? Like ace-5 offsuit or something? Oh, maybe this is a spot where I'm a little bit too weak. I just don't see that many hands in their range that has a that's going to call a bet, unless we bet like small, and I don't think you're supposed to have too many tiny bets here, so I'm going to check it back. Like right here, I just don't think they're calling with Queen Jack or Ace X or anything like that. I think it's funny how as soon as I start this stream, everybody wants to start texting me. I've had a completely textless day all day today. Now everybody wants to talk. You got my number? You might as well send me a message. Say hi. Two pairs, 8s and 3s. Do not fall for this. This is a trap. We would not have had 2 pairs, 8s and 3s because we folded. If you fold, it does not count. How do you play this from Germany, any other place? Go to pokercoaching.com/freeroll. I already said that. There's a link right up there. I think it still works. They actually changed the free roll to a $1 buy-in tournament now. Of course, that goes to the prize pool. Pokercoaching.com/freeroll. Does that work? It does indeed. Full information on how to get on this site is right there. Alrighty. King 5 suited, sure. Maybe a little loose. There's an ante in play. There's an ante in play. You get to raise a little bit wider. It is always kind of tricky playing games with no ante, like our game is here, and then games with an ante down here. Trying to get some action going over here. Do you rely on a hand chart when playing cash games, or is it something you just remember? What do you mean rely on? I mean, you reference them in your head. I mean, I guess that's me remembering if that's the question you're asking. How much do you waver from the chart? A decent amount, depending on what the opponent's doing correctly. This is an awful flop. Probably want to have a backdoor draw of some sort to bet. We can probably just check fold this one. It's a little bit annoying because they should probably start betting small and frequently with stuff like random overcards and whatnot. But that's okay. We'll just fold. But I mean, look, if you are playing poker, you need to understand good, strong preflop ranges. I don't have to look at the chart because I have the chart roughly memorized, as should you. Oops. Where is my password? Here it is. JL Poker Coaching. We'll call 10-6 suited. Flop a draw. We're out of position. Look, I mean, you got to realize that if you do not study poker, you're probably not going to make it. If you are just splashing around trying to flop something, that's not going to work out for you. You need to understand ranges within reason. You don't have to be like super duper precise and perfect using all sorts of mixed frequencies and whatnot, but you do need to understand reasonable pre-flop strategies. And luckily for you, we outline all of that at pokercoaching.com in the tournament and cash game masterclasses, and also at peakgto.com. You can see all these ranges at work. Also, you are not allowed to use pre-flop charts or any charts, as far as I know, when you are playing on most reasonable poker sites. I know on another site, some site pros have been posting pictures of themselves making deep runs using charts. Don't do that. Don't break the terms and conditions of the poker site. Not a good idea. With the help of me, Justin Saliba, and Michael Acevedo, and Will Tipton, you've crushed your first live session in Vegas. Awesome. Glad to hear it. King 4 offsuits, a little bit loose. I don't know. Maybe we can fold. I want to say thank you for helping you out. Well, glad to hear it. Glad that you are putting in the work and crushing the games. That said, one session is not that relevant. Although, I will say that if you go and play in Vegas and you are decently good at poker, you will absolutely smash them. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, etc., throughout the course of this stream, feel free to ask. Happy to address anything you want to talk about. How much should you expand your range in a game where there is an ante? You're going to want to look at something like the 100 big blind or 80 big blind tournament charts on pokercoaching.com or on peakgto.com. You want to be somewhere between those charts and the tighter cash game charts that have no rake. I'm sorry, that have rake. So you generally want to be just substantially tighter. All right, small blind raises. I'm going to call a lot in the big blind, getting really good odds. They bet small in the flop. I'd raise better top pairs, but this top pair is probably okay to call. We'll be doing a video on that Keating Peter hand. I don't even know what you're talking about. I do hands on the hands they send me to do content on. I don't watch them myself in real time or anything like that. I have a team who watches lots and lots and lots of poker content. They send me the best content in their minds, and then I make content over them or about them. Really rough run out here because we lose to everything now, so we'll just fold. But if there was a hand that was apparently super duper epic, I will make content over it if I can. I don't actually know if I have the rights to use high stakes poker content. I'm not the type of guy who steals content from Poker Go. Some people out there just try to steal the content and then put it up on their channel without asking for permission. I don't know if we actually have the rights to use high stakes poker content, though, because that's like their special big show. So maybe not. It's funny that it's interesting that's a thing. Like a lot of poker players who watch poker content don't realize that, assuming you're not trying to get sued, you actually do need to get permission from the people who make the content and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars making the content to use the content. You can't just go around stealing it. I mean, you can try to go around stealing it, but that doesn't make those companies like you. And they can have you take the content down after you make it, which is a big pain. And I mean, look, don't be a criminal is what it amounts to. Don't steal. How about that? Do you only deposit in crypto on CoinPoker? Yes. Anyone from Minnesota get into this? I don't even know. There are plenty of people from Minnesota who play poker. There are people from everywhere who play poker. I've met people from all sorts of places where poker is completely legally banned. Not in America, but like in other places. And they still play poker. You'll text me, what's my number? Yeah, ha, ha, ha. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. King 10 suited might be good enough to 3-bet. I think we just can. It's interesting. Jonathan Biggle, don't know who Jonathan Biggle is, but they are parodying me. They really shouldn't be raising too often from the small blind, but they've done it twice in a row to 3 big blinds. Now we just got to call, right? In position. Hopefully we're not going to just be completely demolished. It's a spot where some people, especially if they're trying to parody your name, really are just going to try to outplay you or whatnot. That said, I'm not too worried about it. We'll fold. For everyone asking like how to get in the game, we've been posting about this for a while. I'm gonna, how do I share this? Copy message link. Here's a link in Discord. Click that. It'll take you to the link on how to get in the cash games. We've sent out emails about this. We've told you all about this. I've done my absolute best to give you every possible chance to get in this. I realize, though, everybody doesn't see everything, so it is what it is. All right, we get a little aggressive with the King 5. Maybe a low-frequency bluff, maybe not. We flop, middle pair. Seems like a spot where we can bet small or check. I'll go 7. You can't believe how poker is so hard. Well, most strategy games are hard, believe it or not. If you look at like chess is really hard. If you look at, I name any strategy game that has more than like one move, and it's pretty hard. When will there be an iOS app? I have no idea. I'm not in charge of programming for this. It'd be nice to play on your phone. Well, I think you might be out of luck. A little bit unlucky on the turn, but that's fine. We're planning on solving 200 big blinds and peak anytime soon. We plan on solving all sorts of spots on peak eventually. Getting all the simulations does take time and effort and resources, but we are getting to it eventually. Thank you for being patient with us. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback about Peak GTO or pokercoaching.com or anything like that, please send an email to support@pokercoaching.com. That's so funny. Paper plate parody. I'm over here trying to say the word parody 2 minutes ago. You'll get a kick out of it probably. Didn't even know that was you. Don't even know who you are. Maybe I do. Actually, maybe I don't. We get flush draw. Let's bet. What a river to bust those Saliba on Triton last night. Oof. Believe it or not, I didn't watch it. I did see in the chat he took 4th place for about $600-something thousand. Good job to Justin Saliba. That's why he's not here today. He's probably off. I wasn't going to say celebrating, but I know he's not celebrating. He's licking his 4th place wounds and playing another tournament. I gotta presume. King and king. Can you only deposit through crypto? Yes. On CoinPoker.com, you deposit using crypto coins, primarily USDT, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever. Would you suggest playing multiple tables? Yes. Or play one bigger buy-in table? No, definitely spread it around. Definitely spread it around. You should not, I mean, look, assuming you're trying to win at poker, you have some sort of bankroll, right? And you want to, like for cash games, keep, I don't know, 50, 60, 80, 100 big blinds. Or I'm sorry, 100 buy-ins. So 100 big blinds times 60, 70, 80. And then spread it around and grind up your money slowly. Poker is a great way to get rich slowly and a horrible way to get rich quickly. I mean, imagine instead of playing this, I just played one 25-50 game. I have one buy-in, right? Sure, I could double it up. I'm not going to win $6,000 here today, but I could also go broke. Should we start bluffing this? I don't think so without the club. I think with 3 of clubs, we're probably supposed to bluff. Is 3-bet fold strategy from late position / the blinds advisable when there's a big rake? Yes. Your real name is not Jonathan. Oh, really? Oh, really? Who could have possibly thought that? Paper plate parody. Is it paper or plate or parody? Probably supposed to call a river bet. Just check and win, though. You may say, should we value bet here on the river? Maybe. I mean, I think a lot of people, when they check down, are going to be very ace-high heavy in that spot. So if they're going to be very ace-high heavy, then certainly we should check it back. I'm sorry, we should be very inclined to value bet it. This is a good flop. We're against the limp. Under the gun, or what? What happened here? I think, am I the big blind against the under the gun limper? Big blind against the under the gun limper, I should probably, quote unquote, lead. It's not really lead because there was no preflop raise. But I think this is reasonable. Here we get bad draw. It's very easy for someone to have something here, and they're just not going to fold. So we just want to bet, and you got to realize a 3 big blind bet, even though it's quote unquote $3, is not all that much. We can call a raise, the bad draw. I'll just bet 9. I'll just call. Probably supposed to mix it up in GTO world. Turn Queen of Spades is obviously terrible. Queens are, of course, great. We'll just fold on this Queen of Spades turn if they keep betting. Now some of our draws are going to be counterfeited in all sorts of ways. How do you recommend players who play with friends learn and transfer skill to low stakes? I don't even know what that means. We river straight. I think we should probably bet. This is good enough to go big. I think. We get snap called. Gotta presume we're going to win. Not the flop for the ace or for the pocket queens. I think we can check or bet small. I'm going to go like 4. This may be bad. I'm not sure. It's a weird spot, that's for sure. Really like these streams. Good. Glad to hear it. This is a spot where I have like lots of ace X and king X and stuff. I don't know why the opponent would raise here. Like, look, if you are sitting here with an ace, you definitely don't want to raise. If you had a king, you definitely don't want to raise. I get the idea that I'm betting so tiny that you want to raise and build the pot, but like I would bet small here with the whole range, right? So the whole range is going to contain a lot of ace X and king X. It's just not going to fold. So we're going to fold this, but I'm not sure I'm buying it. This is a spot where we have to see how absurd the opponent is. If the opponent's like super absurd, then obviously just call and then don't fold. But if they are on the tight side or straightforward side, just let it go because they probably have it. Although the play, look, Slick Potato is in 2 different tables. So maybe they are getting in there and battling. It's tough to say. I think what you're saying is if you just play with your friends, how do you transfer those skills to live poker? I mean, you're already playing live poker, right? So the skill should transfer reasonably. Just realize that specific players live will play very differently than your friends. You play 10 cent, 25 cent, 8 hours a day. You do well in brick and mortar up to 2.5. You struggle at 50 cent dollar online and anything above 2.5 live. Well, I mean, look, poker gets tougher as you play higher stakes, right? Simple as that. You've been loving Peak so far. Good, glad to hear it. If you have not already checked it out, check out peakgto.com. There's lots of free content there. Pocket tens. Here we go. Facing a raise, we can 3-bet. Calling's fine too. They raise a little bit bigger, maybe you want to call, but I think against 2.5 we can just raise. They just fold. Pocket queens. Wow, we're getting all the cards. How about that? What's my favorite suit and why? Diamonds, of course, because they're pretty. Can free roll still be joined? It's not actually free roll anymore. We've changed it to a $1 buy-in, but go to pokercoaching.com/free roll and you'll see the information. Oh my God, queens again. Literally, if you go to pokercoaching.com/free roll, it comes right up. I think I just showed you that, right? If you go to pokercoaching.com/free roll, brings it right up. Here's information. There'll be another one whenever the next one is this weekend. We'll update that information soon. It's all still there. Only the $1 buy-in tournament now. I believe it's pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. I think it'll take you to the same thing. Is that the case? Let's see. Yeah, pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt for all those asking. We've been tinkering around with all sorts of formats and structures and little changes here and there, trying to see what works best. So far, we've given away over $100,000 to all of you. Wait, is that right? No, that's not right. Let me think about this. My brain's broken. 50, no, get a calculator. Gosh, what's wrong with my brain? Isn't it funny I can be sitting here playing lots of poker? We've had like 25, no, so we've given away $50,000. We've given away $50,000 to you all so far on CoinPoker. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Huge thanks to CoinPoker for making that happen. It's nice to give away $50,000 to your fans. Glad to have the opportunity to do it. How many hours of cash game should a pro play per week? Depends on if you care about money or not. If you don't care about money, not all that many. If you care about money, probably a lot. Back when I used to play a lot of cash games, I played about 70 hours per week. Other people in the same games played about 15. I probably made about 4 to 5 times as much money as they did, because back then all I cared about was making money. Today, would I still consider myself a cash game pro? Probably not. I get to play a whopping 20 hours per month, give or take, in very good games. And, I mean, it is what it is. But at the same time, I don't really care only about making money, right? Oh my God. Ace is awful on the turn. You really just don't want an ace. But there's the ace. Okay. Is it legal to play for money now from anywhere? I'm not a lawyer. Not 100% sure, but as far as I know, the illegal thing is using banks to transfer money. CoinPoker does not take money from any sort of U.S. bank. So there you have it. Check turn. I'll call a river bet, but I certainly hate it. The thing is, most have a lot of like queen jack type stuff when they bet the river. It's a pretty easy spot for me to have an ace, so it's kind of a weird spot to bluff. I mean, I get the idea of bluffing if you have literal nothing, but I mean, we're going to call here. I would not be shocked to see an ace some chunk of the time, though. Ace-6 offsuit. As I said, you really just don't want an ace on the turn because no one's folding an ace on the flop. Kids, can you please be a little quieter, or at least out of the hall or whatever this is? A lot of players hate the idea of losing a pot. They're like, oh man, I made a mistake. I should have folded the river. No. You improve more watching me for 30 minutes than you do if you play 3 hours. Well, I would certainly hope that listening and watching a good player playing would help you learn. I would venture to say that if you went through the tournament or cash game masterclass at pokercoaching.com, you would learn about 50 times as fast, maybe 100 times as fast as playing. It turns out curated content presented in a very logical manner, designed by people who are world-class teachers, not me, people who I hired to help me, is a really, really good way to learn. What's my favorite movie? I like The Matrix. I like Star Wars, kind of nerdy stuff. I like As Good as It Gets. If you don't want to go nerdy movie, you want to go more regular movie. I don't know. To be fair, I don't really watch a whole lot of movies. I much prefer TV series. I like TV series because you can develop characters substantially more, I think. And I'm all over the place in TV series. Parks and Recreation is cute. Like cute stuff. Sopranos is good. Survivor is good. All right, we got a gut shot here. We'll call. I got to presume the opponent's going to consider bluffing in a lot of spots where I get there. And we can just easily call on a jack and a 7. I think on an 8 we can also pretty reasonably call, although the 7 is, or the 8's kind of rough. You're trying to improve. Well, how do you improve? Look, if you do not know about EV, pot odds, hand rankings, etc., please go to pokercoaching.com/fundamentals. I'll type it in. Easy call here. Hopefully they don't show me the king 4 or some nonsense. Pocket 9s. All right, great. Lose almost no money. A-okay. You got to be okay losing almost no money when you are in a pretty rough spot, because imagine we bet the flop, get called, check, turn. We're going to lose a small pot. Small to medium pot there. Medium hand, medium pot, everyone. Don't play a big hand with medium pots. Jonathan Biggle wants some action. How's the player pool on CoinPoker? Good. I venture to say, these games, full of poker coaching students, are harder than the other games. So far, we're smashing the other game. Doing marginally, or poorly, in the poker coaching games. Let's go ahead and load up another one. Why not? Hard to type this stuff in, huh? If anyone wants more, bring it. All right, we flop here. We can call or raise. I think either play is fine. Let's put in a small raise. That said, anytime you have a question of like, how is the player pool? Get in there and play. Or at least get in there and observe. All right, we make flush. That's good. I think we'll go 7. Maybe make them think we have a 7. What games they have? I believe they've Hold'em, Omaha 4 card, and Omaha 5 card as far as I know. That said, whenever you have a relatively small / up-and-coming site, you have to be very careful putting out too many games because that spreads the player pool very thin. More games is actually worse for a site that's not gigantic, and CoinPoker is still currently a relatively small site. We'll call King 10 suited. I don't really love it. How many tournaments do you need to reach the final table? Well, how many players are in the tournament? If there's 100 players in the tournament, you're going to make the final 10 roughly 1 in 10 times, right? If there's 10,000 players in the tournament, you're going to make the final table 1 in 1,000, right? 1 in 10 and 1 in 1,000 are very different. There's no free roll today. There's no free roll anymore. It's a $1 buy-in tournament. See pokercoaching.com. I mean, come on, everybody. pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. We'll check again on the turn with the King 10 and probably value bet river. If he checks, then we can go medium. Kind of a weird spot to check 3 times with like aces. Now, they could just have a hand like ace 5 or ace 10 or something and be checking it. I think here, though, we can probably value bet and get called by worse. So the problem is you may have a king, right? We're trying to get called by underpair. So the question is, will they call with an underpair? I think a lot of people will. Maybe that's optimistic to think. This might be too thin. It might be too thin. I can be convinced this is too thin. It sure is nasty if they raise me. I don't know what's going to happen here. They're probably going to check shove me all in. We get called, and we did value on ourselves as expected. That's a spot where maybe it's too thin. It's tough to say. I definitely think they will check king, queen, and king, jack if they have them. I think a lot of people will bet the ace X. In order to play our weekly tournament, you have to sign up through pokercoaching.com. If you've already signed up through CoinPoker somewhere else, you are out of luck. I get that that's not necessarily a wonderful answer, but it is what it is. The free rolls are for people who find their way to CoinPoker through poker coaching. Obviously, call here. Could easily be against a 10. We are against a 10, which is fine. Again, it's fine to play and lose small pots, whatever. DME Poker's book by Michael Acevedo always gets delayed. Send an email to Michael Acevedo and say, hey, what's up? I'm not Michael Acevedo. You may think that I'm Michael Acevedo. I'm not sure why, but you may think that, but that's not me. Do we even bet this? I think it's probably okay. Turn 2 pairs, great. Matrix is top 3 for you. Well, glad to hear it. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. I think we're supposed to bet big here at like 18. Anytime there's a flush draw and lots of straight draws available, it's usually a pretty good spot to blast it. Now, we may be valuing ourselves again, but you never know. Podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. That's a good river. What are some of my favorite podcasts? BG2 Pod with Brad Gerstner and Bill Gurley. Business War. Derek Sivers. The Economics of Everyday Things. Freakonomics Radio. Mania Podcast with Dale Negreanu. Let's see. On Fire with Jeff Probst about Survivor, Planet Money. Table One Podcast. That's a really good podcast if you like poker. Table One Podcast. If you want poker, that's for you. This Week in Startups. Tim Ferriss Show. That's what I have currently with episodes waiting. You're going to regret this, I know. We'll go ahead and give him the winky face lined up. As soon as he folds, we'll type it in. I have to wait 5 minutes to see that it was a good fold. Gotta have fun with Jonathan Biggle here. Maybe one day we will play each other. Come get in the game. JL Poker Coaching is the password. Seat open. All right, what are we doing here? Still tilting over here over my thin value bet that I thought was close. Annoying. If you're on a waiting list, there are more tables. As you can see, I'm sitting here at a table with me and Jonathan Biggle battling it out. 2x potting turn, 2x potting all in on the river. But yeah, I like podcasts. Podcasts are good because you can like watch them or listen to them on the airplane. You can listen to them in the gym. You can listen to them when you're falling asleep at night. It's good. Donk lead, huh? That is rough. It's rough because we're going to get raised sometimes by Jonathan Biggle, but I think we have to call. I got to presume if we go heads up, the the jack is good basically every time. If we go three ways, we have to be a little more careful because the jack may not be good. It's always tough if we get raised, and we will get raised sometimes. This is the other problem, is that spade's not necessarily good either. Definitely a rough spot. We have to check if... I mean, look, I don't know. Slick Potato's been kind of aggressive. I don't really see how I can fold that. Nasty spot. I mean, look, I'm just going to call. So if I call here and then Jonathan Biggle like jams or something and gets action, I'll fold. We get bet 4 and get raised immediately. I'm going to call here. Our outs are very live, I would think. You got to be careful to not overfold heads up. Now I'm just going to pay off on the river. If they check, I think I can value bet. Again, maybe it's too thin. I like the Dune movies. I did not read the Dune books, and I think for that reason I found the Dune movies boring. Sorry. Oh, shoot. Don't time out. Ha, call, duh. Call. This is definitely too thin with the 7s, I think. What websites do you recommend for micro stakes online? CoinPoker. If you go to CoinPoker, you can see if we go over here and search micro stakes, look at all the tables they have. Lots and lots of action. All sorts of stakes. The games on this site, in my opinion, are pretty good. So get in the game. Maybe I watched the Dune movies like tired or out of it or something. I didn't particularly enjoy them though. I don't know. I just thought like not a whole lot happened, or maybe I just wasn't following it well. I'm not entirely sure. They didn't do it for me. That said, it's important to realize that just because you like something doesn't mean everybody will, and that's okay. Nothing to be mad about. I'm glad you found a movie that you probably enjoy, unless you hated it as well and you want to try to trick me. I know a lot of people love the Dune movies. And good, I'm glad for them. Maybe 3-bet the King-9 suitor if we wanted. All right. One big blind bet. I'm not sure this is GTO. I think on boards like this, you're supposed to bet less frequently and using a bigger size. Whenever you bet tiny, I got to raise a lot, or at least frequently. Of course, I'm never folding. Re-raise, huh? Now, here is where I don't know what's happening, because I don't think you're supposed to click it. Maybe you're supposed to click it. I don't know. Not a heads-up expert. Matrix is bottom 3 for you. Well, exactly. To each their own. Some people just don't get it. It's a good turn. I don't think I'm supposed to lead here, ever. Maybe I'm supposed to lead. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to call and then check jam the river. You ask about Michael Acevedo because we have the same publisher. I would recommend you talk to Michael Acevedo. He's on Twitter. He posts on Instagram. Why don't you ask the author? Ask the author about their projects. Anytime you have any question about anything, go to the source, if at all possible. Now, if Mr. Biggle pots it, I'm still just going to go all in. I get that he can have a lot of ace-x of diamonds. Such a nasty spot, though, right? The problem is like, what am I trying to get called by? Right? I'm trying to get called by a queen high flush, but it has to be a bad one, or a low flush. Now, obviously, you could have it. Obviously, you could have it, right? But This feels bad. Like, this line screams either flush or nut flush blocker. Either way, I don't particularly love it. All come on, though, is nice. Because you know you can't have the straight flush. He's not going to do this with an ace, I wouldn't think. So, that's good. Probably has a straight. I don't even know what's happening. I don't know what's happening over here. Kind of confused. All right, check, 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 flop. Ooh, what is this? 2x pot, huh? That's cool. That's cool. I'm going to fold. We bet the flop and 2 people call. I'm just going to check. Value bet safe rivers. It's nice when you just have the nut. $15 on the river. So look, this is an annoying spot for sure. We've seen Slick Potato make some interesting plays so far. Slash maybe overvalues. I expect to lose here a lot, but I wouldn't be surprised to see 2 pair. I don't know what's happening. Look, 15. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to fold. Take your time. Think this through. Raise, call, call. Shouldn't be a lot of 7s. Bet, check, check, bet, call, call. Turn, check, check, check. River, 15. I think this could randomly be like a 9. It might be like 9-8. I don't know. There's not a whole lot here. I'm going to call, but I don't know about this one. This one could be speed, a total torch. Queen 9. All right, good. Glad I didn't fold. Almost folded. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to bluff here. If we bluff a turn, we're going to get called a lot. And we got to bet river for value. Oh, we got to bluff river. What am I saying? You think JP Morgan sank the Titanic on purpose to create the Federal Reserve? Look, that was a long time ago. I'm not a historian. I don't know much about JP Morgan. I was not around. I don't know much about the Titanic. I was not around. Certainly I've read documents on the internet about whatnot, but you got to realize the internet's full of nonsense. Do you all know that? Do you all know the internet is not all true? Shocking, huh? That said, some of it's true. So maybe it is. Maybe it's the case. I don't know, though. I certainly don't pretend to know. I think it's insane that a lot of people read like 10 articles on the internet and just think, now I know what I'm talking about. And look, maybe you do. You're right sometimes. But a lot of people have read 10 articles about poker on the internet, and you see how good that works out for them, huh? You're not getting into poker after about 10 to 12 years off. Any advice? Used to watch me a lot. He was mostly an online player, but it's still not legalized in Illinois. I mean, I don't know. If you feel like it, do whatever you want. Definitely check out the tournament and cash game masterclasses at pokercoaching.com. I think those are going to be very beneficial for you. They're about 40 hours long. I know that sounds like a lot, but they're broken down into 10-minute videos with quizzes after each. They are very, very, very excellent at getting you up to speed quickly for today's games. So definitely check those out. We had the 7-5 suited and bluff. We got the king 5 offsuit. We'll bluff. You know, bluff, bluff, bluff. Bluff, 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 bluff. We get called this time. We flop bottom pair. Rough flop for the bottom pair. I'm not sure what we're supposed to do here. So we'll just bet. We're going to get called a lot. You got to realize the jack and the 9 are so good for the opponent's range to the point they're just going to have a ton of good stuff here. But we get the folds. That's good. Is the rule about 10x implied odds and 20x implied odds with suited aces and suited pairs helpful? It's probably a little too cautious in general because you don't have to make the nuts, right? We'll bet turn and then bet river here. When it goes raise, call, check, check, you can start to move a lot of like ace X from their range. Now, the river's pretty tough, but we're going to bet big. with the idea that trying to get folds from under pairs. And like a 7. We get snapped, though. Maybe they just have an ace. They do have an ace. It's a good check back on the flop sometimes with bad ace. I think we can go 6 on the turn, then pretty big on the river. With the 10-8. Gut shots are good to bluff with, especially when they can't win at the showdown. Raise, call, raise 3-bet. Maybe we should 4-bet. I don't really think Slick Potato likes to fold to me. So I'm not going to 4-bet from out of position with the ace, whatever that is. We have seats open. Head over to CoinPoker. Get in. Check it out. You can get in the game. Password is JL Poker Coaching. Sitting over here battling Jonathan Biggle. Bashing heads. Jonathan Biggle likes the $1 bets. These one big blind bets are good on boards like this, because when I have stuff like this, I just kind of got to fold. Not GTO approved call, but we'll call in position. We have backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, overcard. Pretty much the nuts with the 10-7 suited. They check to me, we'll go for a bet. Not 13. Let's go 3 instead. Three or 4 probably doesn't matter much. Exploitatively, anytime you think it doesn't matter if you bet like small or like medium or big, you should probably air up, or you should usually size up a tiny bit with the best made hands that are vulnerable to being outdrawn. All right, 200 big blinds deep. I don't like this spot, but I think we're supposed to float for 5 more. This is very good pot odds. We got to put in 5 to win 22, right? It's not a great scenario, but we'll call. We're going to be against some sets. Oh boy, here we go. We get great turn. Oh yeah, all-in podcasts. I've listened to all of those. Again, the podcasts I mentioned are all ones that I am not caught up on. All-in podcast is great. I've actually hung out with all those guys a few times. 2 of them have told me specifically that they love my poker training content. That's pretty cool. Oh my God, we got it. That's why you don't give them amazing pot odds on the flop. I think we'll just raise here. And here, I think we just want to go big, right? How much do we go? 77? Sure. Can you customize how the board and cards look on CoinPoker? I have no idea. Not my department. We get the fold here somehow. I'm not sure what was happening there. We're going to try to stack Jonathan Biggle again with our 2 pair. Kind of unlucky they've been running into it. Do you think there's merit to the hordes of people that complain that online poker is rigged? No. People who complain about online poker being rigged are probably bad at poker. The excuse you should have for your losing is not it's rigged. It should be, oh, maybe I'm not that good. Maybe it's a hard game. Jack's kind of rough because Queen Jack gets there. How did I first start playing poker? I think I have a website for that. See if that works. Oh, I don't know if that works. Let's see. Ah, there it is. Perfect. There's a video. A 30-minute video on how I got into poker. I'm not going to go through it today. At least not right now. As you can see, I am busy. I don't really like Joe Rogan's podcast that much. I mean, they do have some good people on the podcast. I don't know. I think it skews a little bit too conspiracy theorist in general. Not always, of course. I mean, look, it's all. I mean, they do a lot all the time. And inevitably, you're gonna talk to some crazy people when you interview all sorts of people. I do like long form interviews to some extent. I think the ideal thing is for them to have the long form podcast available, but then to curate it a bit. That way, you don't listen to a whole bunch of, I'm gonna say filler, but like, look, I don't have time for a 4-hour podcast. At least not that many of them. I mean, Tim Ferriss' podcast is a great example where I don't listen to all of them. I would like to, but I would like to listen to them, but just don't have time. We check back this turn to not get stacked against a 5 and do some bluffs. So we got some bluffs out. That's good. Has the weekly free roll ended? Check out pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt, please. Also, are you all not getting emails from pokercoaching.com? People who ask this question, we have sent a bunch of emails. Also, are you not in the Discord? We posted a bunch in Discord. As far as I know. Maybe I'm seeing stuff other people aren't. Yeah, Justin Saliba streamed it last week. I literally posted it right here about we're starting the new thing. So I mean, look, make sure you all get in there and you're following, okay? I can't spoon feed you everything to follow. We can better check this. Whatever. Is there rakeback on CoinPoker? There is, but it's a little bit convoluted. Google CoinPoker rakeback and a website or article will come up. Basically, you have to get this CHP currency, and then you'll get that some amount deducted from this, but it turns into cash / rakeback. Rough River. Raise call. Check. He needs to have what? A 3 or an 8? Or an ace? Probably doesn't have an ace. I guess I'll fold. How often do you bet out of position in heads-up pots? I don't know. Managed to work up to 25 no limit without depositing thanks to the free rolls. Great. Glad to hear it. That's exactly what we were going for. I love hearing about people turning no money into some money. One of my other friends said that he had turned it into like $700 from just his free roll winnings, which is awesome. We can get in some trouble with this 9-8. We bet the flop get called. That's not good. Do we have any content on various anti-size stuff? No, nothing in particular on these specific things, but it should not change all that much. All that changes is ranges get a tiny bit wider. We're just going to give up here. I hate giving up. If you have questions, Vivian, about how to play in various spots like this, we're going to be against jacks and 10s a lot, but I think we just need to check. Definitely check out pokercoaching.com. Go to pokercoaching.com and go through the Cash Game Masterclass. That is an excellent guide on when to bet and how much. And from out of position, you should be doing a lot of checking in general. Out of position, you got to check a lot because your opponent's range is going to line up pretty good with the board. If your opponent's range lines up pretty good with the board, then you in turn don't get to bet very often because you don't have much of a range or nut advantage. When you don't have much of a range or nut advantage, you have to do a lot of checking. You can see this very clearly if you go through peakgto.com and go through all sorts of spots where you're out of position. You'll find that as you're deeper stacked, you check way more often. As you're out of position, well, when you're deep stacked out of position, you check a lot. When you're multi out of position, you check just like almost every time. And it's essentially because you don't have much of a range or a nut advantage. And we break that down into, and we break it down very clearly with tons of examples at pokercoaching.com. Do you ever get drunk playing online poker? Like, does online poker make me drunk? No. I don't feel anything from poker. I'm pretty dead inside. How do you decide which hands are good bluffs? The bluffing decision flowcharts. Check it out in the tournament and cash game masterclasses at pokercoaching.com. Also, you can probably Google Jonathan Little bluffing on YouTube and something will come up that has the flowchart in it. There's a bluffing decision flowchart that explains very, very clearly when to bluff and how much you should bluff. How do you decide flop sizing? Again, you're asking all these questions that are answered in the tournament and cash game masterclass. These are common questions. But it's not just a thing like I'm going to be able to say, oh, just do this, and that's magic. Typically, on boards, though, that have 3 to a flush or 3 to a straight or a pair on them, you often want to bet using a smaller size, and you want to bet somewhat often. On boards where, that might be a call, I don't know. On boards where there's 2 to a straight or 2 to a flush, but no flush or straight yet, You often want to bet less frequently using a bigger size. In general. But if you have a big range advantage, you bet every time. If you have a big nut advantage, you usually bet bigger, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you practice a lot using the trainer on peakgto.com, there's a literal trainer. That's going to go a long way to helping you get good at these things. All right, everybody, get in the other table. It's time. There's not another table, is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Seriously though, should you drink and play poker? The answer is no. You should not do anything that requires thought inebriated, assuming you care about winning. Now, look, I fully realize a lot of people don't care about winning. Like, they're cool losing. If you're cool losing and you like playing drunk more than not, then go for it, right? But as a general recommendation, if you care about winning, don't do anything that makes you distracted. Now, distracted is like a funny thing, right? Because if you're distracted by, like, my kid's right outside the door here, come on, come and say hi, then you're inevitably going to make mistakes here and there. And as you make mistakes for any reason, it's bad for your game. Commands. There aren't a whole lot of commands here. We just run it. Here's Mr. James. Can you say hello?
Hello.
How'd your day go at school?
Oh, good.
That's good.
Should I say what you have?
You can say what I have if you want. It doesn't really matter. They can see it with their eyes. Here I got kings. This is the second best hand. Here I have ace queen, but there's no ace or queen on the flop, so it's not particularly good. Oh, here we go. Got more action. Hi, Thomas. Did you find your backpack?
It's here.
It was here. You left it. I was in charge of getting Thomas out the door today. No, stop. I was in charge of getting Thomas out the door today, and we forgot to take his backpack. Would you believe that?
Can I keep this?
I would like... No, stop. Stop taking my stuff. Sit out next big blind. Raise this. Check
Can I
this.
have
Hold this.
$100?
No, stop touching stuff, please. Bye. I love you. Oh, gosh, go do homework. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. I wish you the best of luck. Yeah, they know I got a pair of jacks. It's good, huh? You want a pair of aces? Yeah, well, that's greedy.
3 aces.
Three aces. Oh, my gosh. You know what's better than 3 aces?
5.
5 aces. 5 aces is not actually possible.
4 aces?
4 aces. You got it. There are no stars. All right, shut the door. See you later. Bye. Love you. All right, we bet and get raised here. Of course, we're going to call. No, I don't want this. I don't want this. Thank you, though. Bye. It's very nice of you. See you later. Diamond's great. If they check, we'll just bet again and not fold. I think a lot of people get way too weak and cautious in these spots, thinking, oh, I'm scared of being outdrawn. But no, we're not scared of being outdrawn. We have a very good hand. Should we ever shove to just ensure we get the money against worst? I would say no, because there's not a whole lot of worst they should have, right? Just call. Diamond. 2's fine. I mean, look, we're going to lose here sometimes, right? If they just have the 9s, that's fine. If they have the 3s, it's fine. If they have the jack 9, it's fine. If they have all the nothing, and there is a lot of nothing, we're going to win. This is a spot where I think the opponent should give up a lot with their bluffs, just because I'm going to have a pretty good amount of pretty good hands here. I don't really see how I could possibly fold this, though. Definitely not folding. You go around folding this, you're folding everything. Call, call, call. Take notes on timing if they show you the nuts. All right, chop it up. 50-50. Ten 8 suited. Should we play the last hand on this table? Sure. Then we'll move to 4 tables of poker coaching games. All right, we'll take the blinds. Makes up for the last hand. It's a tough spot to value bet, but I like it from the opponent. It's a good spot to value bet. A lot of people get too weak and tight, and they think, oh, no, I could be beat. And you could be beat, but you also get called by some worse stuff. Have I considered adding 4-handed tables? No. Can you tell that I'm spread thin enough already? Can you tell I'm spread thin or not? You think that I'm just you think I got it all put together here? It's nice and easy. 7-handed is great because more people get to play with Jonathan Little. And on top of that, it doesn't completely wreck my focus. As you play shorter handed, you're in the action more, right? Bang, 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 bang. As you're in the action more, you have to be paying attention better. And like here, I'm only a third the way paying attention. Look, re-raise, minimum in position, whatever I call. Here, I'm just going to check it back and try to spike. It's a spot where I think when they call my flop bet, they're going to have a lot of hands with an 8 or a 4 or a flush. None of that's going to fold. And here, I'm just going to check because we do beat some busted draws. Ace, queen. That's annoying. Okay. Fine. Fine and good. Fine and good. Did I stack somebody here? I don't even know what's happening. Oh, we were playing Jonathan Biggle for a while. I won every pot. I remember. It's always nice to win every pot. It's always nice to get some action from Mondo Mover. I think Mondo Mover's on other tables. All right. Good to know. Means they're not afraid. Would you say Peak GTO is better than GTO Wizard? GTO Wizard has far more sims, but their sims are not ran especially well. You want to make sure you're studying good sims and not bad sims in general. Now, they do have the AI thing that lets you get an okay answer for most spots, which is quite beneficial. They have a lot of final table stuff that we are slowly implementing. That said, we have a lot of things in the works that they don't have, like exploitative sims, the sims that the best players in the world use to study on their end. Believe it or not, best players in the world don't use GTO Wizard. They use their own made stuff. And luckily, if you checked out the coaches at pokercoaching.com, a lot of the top GTO players in the world are giving us access to their sims. And we're working on getting on that in the site in time. You think I could teach anyone to beat 50-cent dollar no limit? No, certainly not anyone in the whole world. You got to realize there is like some level of, call it mathematical ability, required to get good at poker. There's also some amount of stick with itness, grit required to get good. There's a lot of desire to getting good. It's not just like you can study for an hour and all of a sudden be good, right? So the person has to want to get good at poker, which is step number one. A lot of people don't want to get good at poker. They may say they want to get good at poker, but they don't want to get good at poker. They want to goof off. So those people who are trying to goof off, no, you can't help them so much. Players who are, let's call them very, very inclined to like massive amounts of degeneracy, and they push that into poker. Those are hard to make win. I mean, some people can still do it, but those people are hard to make win. Just to be clear, there are some poker players who are like massive degenerates, but not at poker. And those players are fine. But the players who are massive degenerates away from poker and some at poker, it's very hard for them to do it. At what age will you teach your kids to play poker? My kids already know how to play poker. They're 6 and 8. They don't know how to play it well. Did you just see the guy in here calling my hand? He knows there's only 4 aces in the deck. He was making a joke. Isn't that cute? My son came in here and made a joke about poker. I don't know if you all heard it. He said, I have ace jack. That's good. He's like, oh, you want a pair of aces? I'm like, oh, that's greedy. He's like, I want 3 aces. And he's like, oh. I'm like, what's better than 3 aces? He said, 5 aces. I'm like, there's not 5 aces, right? He's like, yeah, I know. Call or raise? I don't know. I guess call. I don't even know what we're supposed to do with this. This is not a good hand. Maybe we're supposed to raise. How do you beat people who call too often? Raise wider for value. Raise less as a bluff. Clearly, right? Look, Vivian, a lot of the questions you're asking me are questions that are all covered in the Cash Gamer Tournament Masterclasses at pokercoaching.com. All of this is covered. All of this is required knowledge. I'm not going to go through the entire thing here, but check it out. If you go to pokercoaching.com and sign up, If you do not like it or learn from it or whatever, if you want a refund after a month of trying it, I'll give you a refund. No questions asked. So go in there, go through it, study a ton, get good. And all these questions are answered there in a way that's better than just like Jonathan Little saying 2 words, you know? We're going to call here. I don't love it, but it's like whatever. Anytime you have a gut shot, you can't really... A gut shot with 2 overcards, you can't really go around folding. I'm just going to call. Maybe we 3-bet I was thinking about. We'll call turn. I mean, it's starting to get kind of gross when they bet big on this jack, because this jack should be like kind of good for me, I would think. Can we value bet river? I don't know. I mean, this is one of these spots where we might be value owning ourselves. We're trying to call by what, a 9? Ugh. Kind of hard to get called by a 9. I'm just going to check. This is weak, but I think it's hard to get called here. I'm sure in GTO world we're probably supposed to bet. Get the kids in this game. Yeah. Oh, God. So here we raise over limper, right? The problem with raising limpers is that they can have literally anything. We did make it kind of big, so they shouldn't really have a whole lot of 5x, but the problem is I have literally no 5x, right? So if the opponent's competent at all at hand reading, you just got to check fold here. But if they are weak and tight and will let you run them over, then just bet turn and shove river. Still offering hand history reviews. See pokercoaching.com/private. I do still offer private coaching. I don't really do it all that often. I turn down a lot of people, but PP for Life has been here forever, so I'm happy to give some action. Raise 3-bet, we'll fold. Great stream. Glad to hear you're enjoying it. If you want to get in the game here, I've been battling heads up for a minute. Honestly, I haven't been paying that much attention to the heads up game. Whenever you're playing heads up, I'll give you a strategy tip. You should probably pay attention. Because like if your opponent folds too much, you should just be raising a ton. And if they don't fold too much, you should be playing quite tightly, right? So always consider what your opponent does incorrectly. I have no clue what Mondo Mover does incorrectly at this point. I'm just going to check it back on this flop. The 2 middle card flops are very bad for me. Check it back here too for the same reason. We can bluff the turn if they check some portion of the time. Let's keep checking here. River 2 pair. That's good. Mondo Mover's doing some limping, which is clearly relevant. I have not studied a ton about how to play limpers heads up. I haven't studied a ton about how to play anybody heads up. So that's fun. But hey, I'll do it. How do you deposit on CoinPoker? Literally follow the directions on the site. It is super easy. It is super easy. You go to the site, you click on cashier. Oh my God, I get raised. Unexpected. I'm not going to fold. I realize they could have me beat with plenty of stuff. What do I lose to here? I'd lose to basically a flush. They had to check a flush on the river. They aren't checking a flush. What do we call? We'll call minimum raise. They do have the flush. Oh my God. I thought no one would check a flush there. Giving it like check on the turn. It's a risky spot to check on the turn. You literally click right here on your balance. It brings up the cashier. You go over here. You click on deposit. What do you want to deposit? Select your currency. Deposit bonus. You'll have a deposit bonus. Make sure you get your deposit bonus. We'll call again. Oh boy. Select the network. Right? So USDT is on Ethereum. You enter the amount. Send it there. Easy. Bing, bang, boom. What do I want to bet? I guess it's like 25, right? I mean, we have the nuts, clearly. Well, I say the nuts, clearly. Haha. We're going to check raise out of our seat and get punished. But, we want to get called by a 6 or a 10 or whatever, right? Super easy deposit on CoinPoker, though. It could not be easier. If you send Ethereum-based currencies, it'll get to your account in like a minute. Which is awesome. And it costs like 50 cents, which is also awesome. If you try to deposit on a lot of other sites, it's going to be expensive. enjoy the fact that everything is quick and easy. I'm back in 1 minute. Which button do you click to get this four-tabling set up? You rearrange the tables. I don't know. I click them and I drag them around. I put them where I want to put them. I don't know. That's a weird question. Everybody wants stuff to be super duper easy. Look, everybody. Look, everybody. Sometimes I got to do a little bit of work. Do you have heads up, no limit coaches who do private coaching? I know Jonathan Jaffe is one of our coaches. He does a lot of heads up stuff. At least he did in the past. Don't know if he still does or not. I'm going to call her with a gut shot. I don't think I'm supposed to raise. Maybe I am. Is there heads up content on poker coaching? I think there is. Although I will say I don't think anything is all that recent because honestly, everybody listen. I don't think you need to be spending your time on heads up no limit hold'em in 2024 or 2025. You didn't need to spend your time on 2024 and you definitely don't on 2025. All right, do we bluff this? I think yeah, right? We got to go pretty big. Ooh, no thin value bet. That's good for me. We'll try to flop here. Just fold. Oh my God. I'm going to go 28 to try to get them off everything worse than a queen. They're never going to fold a queen, of course. But if they have like an underpair or some sort of busted draw, they'll fold every time. Might even fold a queen, which would be cool. Notice I'm in the big blind, right? I could easily have a 4. So I think this is fine. We get the fold. That's good. It's important to play games that have a future, assuming you're trying to win money. And while I'm sure there is some money to be won at heads up no limit, the way you're going to win a lot of money at heads up no limit in 2025 is to play against really bad players. And then just play kind of good. I'm going to fold the boat. Has very bad equity realization, I think, 3 ways. And you got to realize, like, you will probably never become one of the tippity top heads up players just because they've devoted their life to it. And also, you're not going to be making much money off of those. There are various sites out there with heads up content, a lot of it. But it's a very, very like technical, precise game. And it's hard. It's hard. And I don't think there's a whole lot of value. It's hard, and I don't think a lot of value. So if the game is both hard and I think there's not a lot of value, and on top of that, like you just can't play it live, really, right? I'd ask, like, what are you doing? Unless you, I mean, look, I get you can turn some small amount of money into a smaller amount of money. It's smaller, into a, a little bit as well. My brain's broken. Give me a second. I'm running bluffs over here. This feels bad. This feels bad. But, like, I don't really see what else I can do with the jack high out of position. If we get jammed, we can fold, I guess, but that one feels nasty. Ugh. All right, undergun raise, I called. Maybe I'm supposed to just fold immediately. Maybe it's okay to just, like, not answer the question when it's coming out of my mouth. Runner seems to happen a lot while you're playing more hands, and, it happens occasionally. But, heads up is way more about game selection than most other forms of poker. Find a fish, play the fish, beat the fish. That's how you win. Raise, call, 3-bet, call. Ugh. Am I supposed to jam this? I have no idea. Weird lead again. This player's made a few weird leads in spots where I don't really think should have a leading range. I've just had nothing every time, so I folded. Oh, gosh. I think I'm supposed to shove. Feels bad, but... like ace-king, maybe jacks and tens. I don't know. We just get stacked when they have it, though, right? The alternative, though, is call, and then it goes call, call a lot, and then we just have very poor equity realization. Whereas when we shove, we do get some folds. Some people in JJJJJ spot, like, don't bluff that often. If they just don't bluff, then clearly it's not good to shove. But, you know, JJ's playing, so I think it's okay. David, look, there's variance in poker. Simple as that. In live poker, usually your edge is way bigger because people are far worse. So you won't have nearly as many bad quote-unquote downswings. And also online, people are way better. So as your edge is smaller, your edge is... the variance is going to feel more insane, right? So this is going to feel like you don't have much of an edge. This is good. So you have to recognize that, right? As your edge is smaller, you're going to have way more variance. And you got to realize, let's go big. When you're playing, maybe I need to go even bigger. 36 is fine. 36 is probably not even the GTO. I should probably be going small in this spot. If they have an ace, I don't think they're folding. When your edge is way smaller, and you see a lot of hands, like you will just take bad beats, go on downswings, et cetera, and it's going to feel rough. You also got to realize, whenever you're playing online compared to live, your live win rate in live cash games may be like 30 big blinds per 100 hands, like some ungodly high amount. If you have some ungodly high win rate, then if you compare that to like a 3 big blind per 100 win rate you may have online, because maybe you're good at exploiting people, maybe you're not all that technical online, then it's going to feel very different because your edge is substantially smaller. Greetings from Germany. Hello. Going to play more tables. You know, I was actually told, probably cap it at 4 tables. If there's another table like running fully, I'll get in it, but I don't want to be getting in another table by myself. Like, you're not even in the table. The guy's telling me to join the table and you're not even there. What is this? Or maybe that was this one over here. Who knows what people are saying. I'm behind the times, clearly. So far, this has been a good session. It's always nice to run decently. Currently up about $400 on the session. Not that that really matters. Could all change at the drop of a hat. JJ could have had aces instead of ace 5, and, well, I'd be not up as much. Should we play the Jack 4 suited for fun? I think we can. In a Jonathan Biggles big blind, certainly we can. I'm joking, Jonathan Biggle. I'm joking. Oh, got a parody, Jonathan Biggle. Oh my God, do we 3-bet? Now this is just straight torch. Do we do it? I mean, why would we not? Why would we not? I'm gonna deserve the all-in. I deserve the all-in. Just ship it in. I know what's happening. I can see it a mile away. Oh, God. Fold. Okay, fine. No more punts. You see what happens when you get out of line, everybody? I got a little bit out of line with a slightly loose open and a slightly loose 4-bet. I got my head kicked in. That is a good lesson for all of you. Cost me $28 to Jonathan Biggle, who gave me action earlier, so I don't mind doing it. But don't do that. Don't get out of line in no limit hold'em cash games. Is CoinPoker similar to Club WPT Gold? No, not at all. What do you mean? On Club WPT, you can only play one table. One table is not how you go about making a lot of money. Now, look, I realize a lot of people do want to play only one table. If you only want to play one table, sure, play Club WPT. I think they also use some sweepstakes coin system, kind of like Global Poker. I don't know about all that stuff. It's kind of convoluted and weird to me. I mean, look, I'm sure it's a fine site. I presume they're cashing people out, so I don't know. Give it a try. I just haven't played much on it. I don't even know if they have, like, free rolls where you can win a seat. I'm not sure. CoinPoker is way more similar to lots of other online sites, and they have a lot of games. You can play multiple tables. They have a bunch of tournaments of all sorts of buy-in levels, etc., etc. But you only use crypto. King 8 suited. Sure. Probably should just fold. Can I see your comments? Yes. We are on a 5-minute delay, everybody. Otherwise, you all could see my cards. My son James is very concerned that you all can see my cards. Like, can they see your cards? Can I say your cards? It's like, yes. Heads up occurs more often on CoinPoker because they have four-handed games, etc., etc. Yeah. I agree. And look, you should be comfortable enough playing heads up. I mean, look, I've studied heads up a whopping, I don't know, 10 hours out of my life, almost none. And I mean, I don't know, I do fine enough. I'm certainly not proclaiming to be the best heads up player in the world. I would recommend you get content from one of the best heads up players in the world if you want to study heads up poker. One thing you'll see at pokercoaching.com is we do not make content about stuff we do not know about. The site is not designed to spit out a bunch of content. It's not a content farm. A lot of sites out there just want to put out a lot of content. They think content. Bad content's not good. Egotistical content, where the coach is just trying to toot their own horn and make themselves seem smart, is not good. Content by somebody who is not really, really good at the game is not good, assuming people are trying to learn. I mean, there are plenty of content creators out there who are making content, not educational content. I should have prefaced this with, at pokercoaching.com, we are making educational content, not pass the time and goof off content. Watching Jonathan Little, who's not the best heads up player in the world, make a course on heads up is not wise. Kind of big 3-bet. I mean, it's not that big. Just fold. Be a good boy. Anyway, find somebody who's good at heads up and learn from them. Simple as that. Maybe easier said than done in 2025. That said, get in there and battle. Get in there and bang around. Also, there are GTO solvers for heads up now. I would highly recommend you study like heads up GTO content, because that's definitely where you want to begin. You definitely want to begin with heads up GTO stuff. I guess you can win at 5-10 live and still be a loser at 100 no limit online. Definitely. Whoa, pause. If it's not obvious, if it's not clear, these games we're playing right here are probably tougher than a 5-10 no limit game in Vegas that's happening right now. Or at least comparably tough. That should be clear. I want to make that perfectly clear to everybody. These games and all the other games on every other online poker site where you're buying in for $100 or $200 are going to be equally tough as 5-10 no limit live for the most part. Now, of course, there are exceptions. Some places are tougher than others, blah, blah, blah. But I would take pretty much any decently studied poker player and put them at 5-10 before I'd put them at 50-cent dollar online. It is a much tougher game. You can run good easily for a year live. Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely run good for a longer time period. What's the rake on this game? I don't know. I'm sure they have a rake table on the website. You were winning well on WPT Global ring games, and they restricted you to only joining tables that have one player only, so you have to start the games for them. Again, I don't know what kind of rules they have on that site. I do know they have stuff like... I don't know this. I've heard they have like anti-pro features or anti-good player features, and maybe this is one of them, where if you're smashing them, then you're now a prop player and you got to start games. It's not a bad idea, really. A lot of people think you should defend the 8-7 here. No. Slightly loose 4-bet. I mean, look, if you're going to raise the Jack-4 suited, it's a pretty good 4-betting hand because it has a blocker, you know? Given it's like a tiny frequency open to begin with, it's fine to put it in your tiny 4-bet bluffing frequency. It's certainly better than taking a hand like King-Jack suited and 4-betting it, you know? Because then you have to fold that too, and you just give away all of its equity. Jack-4 suited doesn't have a whole lot of equity, so you don't mind it. Oh, hello. I do have to say I've been flopping pretty well today. Or turning well today, or rivering well today. Donk lead minimum. Very weird. I'm hoping Tony G's point raises. Please raise. It's a spot where I shouldn't expect to get raises all that often, but I hope they raise. With like pocket 10s or something. I'm just going to call. This is a spot where you want to play this hand very slowly. The pot's already pretty big. If there's a raise. Now, if Tony G's point folds, I mean, I'm going to be very tempted to raise just because a one big blind bet's kind of like a check. If they checked around to me, would I bet? The answer is yes. Obviously, we're only against one person now, which is nastier. I'll just raise, though, whatever. Enjoy my podcast. Glad to hear it. We do have audio versions of a lot of the content that goes up on YouTube. That works okay with no video. I mean, look, I'm going to keep betting here. It's hard to get paid, but like if they do have the king or the queen, they're just not going to fold. It's one table now, but soon more. I mean, okay, sure. Okay, sure. This is gross because I turned the 2 pair, but there's obviously a bunch of straights available. I'm trying to think, like, exploitatively. Am I ever supposed to just call and then fold the river? I don't know. Can't fold on this river. I'm kind of tempted to not even bet if they check. You like GG Poker. I haven't played on GG Poker in quite a while. They rake a lot, and at least the very high-stakes games are quote-unquote tough, to say the least. Maybe cheated. Who knows? Now, look. I think I'm supposed to value bet this. Maybe I'm not. I don't know what's happening here. I'm so tempted just to check. I'm so tempted to check. What are we going to get called by? Like king, queen? They were the big blind. I'm just checking this. I don't know what's happening here. Like, I think it's really, really hard to get paid by a whole lot of worse. I don't know. That's obviously a nitty check, but I kind of felt the turnover bet was very strong. I mean, and like, look. On this board, the turnover bet should be very polarized to good made hands and draws, right? What's a good made hand on this board? Well, straights, right? And sets and 2 pairs. Jack 10 doesn't do so good there. And if they have nothing, well, like this, they're obviously going to fold. Or maybe check raise me and make me fold. So I think this is a spot where I don't even know if we're supposed to bet in GTO world, really. Seems tight, right? Also, if the opponent's good, they're going to check with some straights on the river and let me bet because I'm going to have a lot of busted draws. Then they're going to check raise me out of my seat. What's your fascination with Jack 4? It's the Robbie, everyone. You never seen the Robbie? Type ROBBIE poker Jack 4. You'll see my fascination with it. It's a great hand. If you're going to mix it up, it's way better to mix it up with Jack 4 than 7-2 or 10-2, right? Jack 4 is infinitely better than those. They're all unplayable, but Jack 4 is way better. And if it's suited, come on. Suited's almost a quality hand. mean, take any suited hand in the cutoff. I mean, how tight do you want me to be, everybody? It's a stream game. We're trying to give some action over here. You think playing a very simplified strategy is a good strategy? I realize theoretical EV loss isn't that huge, but it feels as though one doesn't understand the depths of the game. Depends on how simple you're talking. I would venture to say that I, Jonathan Little, am playing a simplified strategy. Don't you think? If you study at pokercoaching.com over the course of the 40-hour-long tournament or cash game masterclass, you'll see we're playing essentially a somewhat simplified strategy that is somewhat easily implementable. The goal is to be somewhat easily implementable. You can see the rake in the info. A 5% contribution is taken with a limit of $2.50. So 2.5 big blinds, that's fine. 5% rate capped at 2.5. Yeah, that's actually not bad at all. For an online site in 2025, that's great. That's actually great. Greetings from Greece. Hello. May your pockets be deep, your opponents be asleep, and your aces never get cracked. Indeed. But I mean, like, look, what do you mean by simplified? You mean like pot or check? No, I mean, you can't play like that bad, and you will have EV loss. But I mean, I don't... Look, everybody. I'm not one of the best online no-limit 6-handed or 8 to 7-handed cash game players in the world. I'm just not. I spend all of my play in these games, you all watch me play on the stream. So I'm playing 3 hours every 2 weeks or something, right? And I'm doing perfectly fine. I'm smashing the games. I'm not doing anything overly advanced or overly tricky or overly exploitative. I'm just playing like kind of good, halfway decent GTO poker, right? And we're doing great. Here we have gut shot on a board that's good for them. I don't think we can fold with a spade. Ugh. Am I supposed to raise this? I don't even know. Again, like right here, I don't know what's good. Oh, my YouTube video editors like, Jonathan, you should not say you do not know what you're doing because then people will think you're bad at poker. I hate to break it to you. A lot of the best poker players in the world don't know what they're doing most of the time. They are guessing. When I say I don't know, I don't mean I'm totally clueless. I mean, I think the plays are close, and I don't know which one's ideal. Rough spot on the river, but we got a call, I think. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of ace-X, but it's like, whatever. It's a good bluff spot. I like the bluff. Hi, Thomas. What can I do for you? Would you all believe that Thomas left the house today and just didn't take his backpack? What are you doing? No, that's mine. That's mine. Where's yours? Do you know where yours is? Yeah. Where? Well, why are you trying to take mine? I know. You don't know?
Can I see your hand?
You can see it right here. Look, I got King 10 of spades. Pretty good, right? And Jack 7 of spades, and King 8 of diamonds. We bet and we get called. I think I'm going to check, shove, all in. I'm going to check, they're going to bet, and I'm going to go all in. Watch. You think it's going to work?
No.
No? I don't think so either. We'll call this. Maybe this is too loose. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to check, shove, all in. Think it's going to work? No. I don't either. Mondo mover I don't think is that much of a bluffer. So maybe this is not a great spot to check, but I still like checking in spots like this just to really, really, really protect the checking range. Because when you protect the checking range by including some really good hands, they just have to be way more concerned thin value betting and bluffing. So I don't mind showing that. Here... I think we make it 30. You think a fold's better? Thomas thinks a fold's better. He says, do a fold. You're probably right. Oh, what am I doing? You're right, Thomas. Keep your voice down? I'm sorry. Fold. Don't tell them what I have. Fold. No, don't do that. That hurts people's ears. We got the fold. Look, we won, Thomas. I was right. You were wrong. Fist bump. Okay. Where's your brother? No. Look, people can hear that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, but nobody needs to hear you singing. I will tell you, Thomas, I thought that bluff was going to fail as well. I was not confident in it. But everyone, listen, it's very important to realize How you feel doesn't matter.
How you feel doesn't matter.
Just make the best play possible.
Just make the best play possible.
That's a good life lesson. All right, good. Okay, go.
Okay, go.
Go.
I want to look.
You gotta go.
I want to look. They call.
He called. Yeah, not a good flop for me. I almost bluffed here. If we were against fewer people, I would have bluffed the jack 8 for flush draw. We're here. No, you can't fold. You gotta check or bet, and I'm gonna bet 7 because I think if we bet 7 and they have nothing, we're just gonna win the pot a lot of the time.
Do we win the pot?
Well, you'll know in just a second if he folds. If he folds, we win the pot. If he raises or calls, not yet. We get called. Turns at jack. Do we bluff this? You think yes? I think no. I think no. I'm going to go with no. And I'm going to tell you why. Can I? No, don't touch that. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Can I tell you why? Because the ace high can actually win at the showdown every once in a while. If we check it down every once in a while, we win, which would be excellent. So we'll just check it back. Sick potatoes getting shallow. Look, a pair of queens. That's good. Stop making noise. Check. We lose. Pocket sevens. Fine. Take it. All right, we could get in trouble here because we have queens, but they could have 3 sevens. Facing the donk lead. By the way, paper plate parity, etc. Go through the Cash Game Masterclass at pokercoaching.com. It's not rocket science. This is a spot where you will learn a ton and you'll get good at playing roughly GTO poker. Also, go through the trainer on peakgto.com. Practice with that a lot. And you're going to find that if you practice with that a lot, especially in common scenarios, you're going to be way better than all your opponents. Thank you. Pretty bad runout for 8-7 on that hand you folded. I don't even remember. That money is long gone.
That green one.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because this is turned down to where if you're outside the door, they can't hear what you're doing. It can only hear stuff in this little room, and then they can really only hear stuff when it's close, like right here. No, don't yell. Stop. Don't even try. Try it. Well, I guess I was wrong. Okay, you gotta go. I gotta do my work. Go. See you later. Thank you for the good luck. Maybe good luck. Look, he leaves the room and we flop nothing. Andrea Thomas, hello. Hope you're having a wonderful day. He leaves the room and we flop zip and pip. Password for the tables, JL Poker Coaching. We'll be going for about another hour today. And there are additional tables loaded up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running at the moment. What was that other thing I had pulled up? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd recommend you all hop in this table. Get to play with these players. Maybe I sit over here and play for a minute. Sure, I'll sit over on the other table and play for a minute. Why not? I'll probably get distracted and time out, but that's okay. I don't mind. Ace-3 suited, we'll call. Are you still doing hand history reviews? I'm not even sure what you mean by that. The answer is probably yes. We flop nothing. Nothing's not really where you want to be. We have a flush draw and gut shot. And middle pair or third pair. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Will certainly not fold. We call or raise. I think we can go either way between call and raise. Facing a bet and a call. Raise and 3-bet. Guess we'll just call and try to get there. I mean, we certainly could raise in this spot. We certainly could donk lead this river, but I'm not going to. Anytime you have a bad flush, you got to realize the opponents could just have like nut flush, right? Because this guy's always going to check back flop with flush, or backdoor flush draw. Well, very, very often will, and he'll very often call a turn bet with it. So when you're out of position, 3 ways, you got to do a lot of checking, I think. I'm the man you love me. Would you teach Thomas Hold'em or Omaha? Well, he already knows Hold'em, so I'm going to go with that one. I think it's an interesting question. Like, which games should you teach kids? I guess Hold'em's quote-unquote easier because there's only 2 cards. So that's like a reason to teach that instead of PLO. PLO definitely teaches, like, well, I don't know what it teaches. Because, like, in Hold'em, like, that King 8 of Diamonds bluff was probably okay. And it felt, like, very, call it reckless. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. It worked, right? But you got to do that kind of stuff in PLO, too, like blockers, right? So you have to make bluffs in the games in interesting ways. In PLO, you got to take smaller edges a lot of the time, like smaller edges over and over. Whereas No Limit Hold'em, you get to have bigger edges some chunk of the time, which is nice. I don't know which I would teach kids first. That said, I do think No Limit Hold'em has a great future, especially in live poker. I'm not so sure about PLO. PLO is very slow. Slow games are very, very bad for live poker, just in general. Because you don't get to play that many hands, right? And if you don't play very many hands, you can't extract any value. We should maybe 3-bet, but I think calling's fine too. It's like whatever. And I definitely want to teach the kids to do things that have a future. I always want to, like, assuming they care about making money from the activity, I want to always push them towards doing things that they can make money at, as opposed to things that may die. If you had to have me pick if I think which game's going to die, Hold'em or PLO, I would say PLO's going to die. I mean, you all got to realize, I studied PLO a long time ago. I spent like a year of my life playing PLO cash games because I thought it was maybe the game of the future. And it turned out it wasn't. It was just like another side game. It's a popular game. It's like, don't get me wrong, it's not like a nothing game, but it's also not it has not become No Limit Hold'em, right? Despite the fact that various tournament series are trying to push it kind of hard. They're pushing it kind of hard and it's still doing just okay. Now, this is a nasty one with the 8s. It's nice to get a check back. I think we can bet small. If we get called, I think we can check the river. I don't know. It's a weird one. Definitely a weird one. All right. I'm just going to bet, but maybe I'm supposed to check this back. We raised over the under the gun razor, and they're going to have a lot of big cards, which smash me here, but I don't have a whole lot of garbage in my range, right? So do we keep bluffing turn? Probably not. Like, they're never folding a queen or a 10 or jacks or whatever, so we'll just check it back. Cool river. I don't think I'm supposed to bluff it. I mean, maybe I'm supposed to bluff it. I don't even know. Weird one. How often do we do cash game sessions with the common folk? Recognize, you're all not common folk. You are extra special, well-studied poker players. My next cash game stream with all of you, I think, is March... Oh, gosh, I don't know. Let's see. March 16th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. We'll be doing the same thing. Maybe I'll play the free roll too. Then also on March 30th. March 16th and March 30th, I have these cash game streams lined up. The fisherman said he saw the Jack 10 suited hand. If I bet he was going to jam me, and that would have been miserably bad. For you, because I probably would have called. But yeah, that's what I didn't really want to have happen, right? It's a spot where when you overbet turn, and then you check on the river when a lot of draws brick, you're going to have a lot of busted draws and some nut hands, right? To protect the marginal draws that have a little bit of value. And I think if I bet there, I do get shoved some, and getting shoved is just really, really bad. Especially when I have like no blockers at all to the straights, right? Which are the logical shoving value hands. This streaming's tough. I'm glad I'm not a professional streamer. It really does take a lot out of you. Back in the day, you all may not know this, I actually got banned from Twitch for streaming No Limit Texas Hold'em. I got banned from streaming No Limit Texas Hold'em on Twitch. And then about a month later, Jason Somerville came along and just started streaming poker on Twitch. And they promoted him like crazy and made him a hero. So they banned me. I didn't know it was against the rules to play gambling games. And they make him a hero because they apparently talked to the right person and I didn't talk to anybody. I just started doing it. So I was ahead of the times, unfortunately. But then I started streaming a decent amount. But it's a lot of work. A lot of effort. This is a weird one. It's an annoying spot where we should get check raised by a lot of draws, but I have a lot of 10s in my range to raise button or cut off or whatever it was. So I think it's okay to bet there because I'm kind of well protected, right? If you are getting into the content streets, assuming you don't want to sit at your computer playing poker all day, I would recommend YouTube or Twitter or maybe even TikTok or whatever else. Because on those, you don't actually have to grind all day, every day. I mean, you can if you want, but you don't have to, right? Whereas with streaming, you really do kind of have to grind all day, every day if you want to have a very, very popular stream. Like right now, this stream has 900 viewers, counting all of the bots on Twitter, which are not real, right? So I don't know the right number. It's probably like 200 or 300 real people that are watching live, and half of them are playing in the games. So it's hard to get people online watching you doing something exactly right now. That's the problem in my mind with live streams, is that you all have to be sitting at your computer right now to take full advantage of this. I realize some of you will watch this in the future, but a lot of you won't. This will just live quietly in the live section and in the YouTube videos on demand. I'm sorry, the Twitch videos on demand, and it'll just get lost to time. But I like playing with all of you. I like getting in here and interacting. It's a lot of fun. Sure, a lot of people talking about WPT Gold, about how they get unlucky there. You got to realize it's probably just variance. Again, I don't know anything about WPT Gold. I'm not in charge of their site. I have not played there. Actually, I think I've played 5 or 10 hands there. But I would tell you to stop whining about bad beats. If you whine about bad beats, everyone, if you whine about bad beats, you're probably not going to make it. Also, if you're whining about bad beats on a site that only lets you play one table at a time, you probably haven't played very many hands there. You probably played like 1,000 hands or 100 hands. Yeah, crazy stuff happens over 100 hands all the time. Were you watching earlier? I like backdoored 2 nut hands back to back, both like 5% shots. 1 in 125 or whatever the number is. And people look at that and say, oh my God, it's rigged for you. But no, it's just variance. You to watch all the other ones I missed, right? There's no small blind in the spot. That should make me defend tighter. I don't know where the small blind went. There's no small blind there, I don't think. You grinded Money up from the poker coaching free roll tournament to $200. How do I recommend shot taking except waiting for a soft game? Well, look, wait for a soft game would be rule number one. I wouldn't really recommend quote unquote shot taking. I would recommend playing like $5 no limit. Do exactly what you're doing. Grind it up slowly. It's way better to grind it up slowly than trying to get rich quick, assuming you don't really want to deposit again. If you don't want to deposit again, grind it up slowly. Nothing wrong with grinding it up slowly. 50-cent dollar, why micro? Why do you think, Derek Daddio? I'm going to let you think about this for 5 minutes. I would like you to type in, why do you think I would be playing 50-cent dollar as opposed to bigger? There's one really, really, really good answer floating around out there. I bet you can find it. I have full faith in you, Derek Daddio. Check here kind of quick to induce bluff. Right here, like, I'm probably calling, so I want to do everything I can to induce bluffs so that hopefully he bluffs more often than normal. Are any other poker coaching coaches joining these sessions? Not today. Maybe in the future. You loved playing with Justin Saliba. Yeah, Justin Saliba's the boss. He's the man. Congrats to him. He cashed for $600-something thousand the other day in the Triton series. Good job, good work to him. I'm very proud of him. Believe it or not, when Justin Saliba first came to me, he was playing 5-cent, 10-cent, no-limit hold'em. And asked me for coaching. He said, my Instagram is no good. He wants to help make my Instagram better. In exchange for a little bit of poker coaching, he was going to make my Instagram better with a lot of time and effort. He did a great job. I thought he was very dedicated to that and very dedicated to poker. We worked hard together for a few years. Next thing you know, he's playing the Tritons and helping out a ton on pokercoaching.com. You all may not know this, but he actually designed Peak GTO. A lot of the sims there are his. It's what him and a lot of the best players use to win at the absolute highest levels. You run so bad, JL. I don't know about that. I think I've been pretty lucky today. Been pretty lucky in life in general. Would you all believe I started with a $50 deposit and never had to deposit again? Isn't that crazy? How lucky must I be? Could have just lost the first $50 and quit. You think I would have quit if I lost the first $50, or would I be a degen? I really wasn't much of a degen back when I was young Jonathan Little. I was kind of straightforward and scared. I naturally skew very tight and passive, for those who do not know. That's my natural inclination. You wouldn't know that from watching some of these bluffs we've attempted today. But my natural inclination is tight and passive. And you got to fight it. Like that King 8 of Diamonds bluff felt pretty nasty. I think we had some other bluff I did too that felt pretty nasty, but both of them got through, right? And maybe that probably means I need to be bluffing more. Slick Potato coming for more on the other side table. All right, Slick Potato. All right. All right. We get 3-bet by the small blind to 12. What do we go, 30? We're playing slightly deep, 32. We'll call it all in. Hopefully we don't finally run into it. We get called. We get overpair. Fun flop. You think the biggest difficulty in streaming is giving your opponents information? I wouldn't be so worried about that, honestly. If you're good, you can tell your opponents what you're doing, and you can still win. So we get called for the small bet, turn 7, which is terrible. Now we lose all the small pairs. Now, the opponent shouldn't have a whole lot of small pairs. They should have a lot of like jacks and 10s, maybe kings. But they could have small pairs. So we're just going to check it. Pray for a brick. If they check the river, I'm going to shove. I think jacks and 10s and 9s all call. That's going to be a lot of their range, right? If they shove, it's way worse. I don't even know what I'm gonna do if they shove me. Oh, tiny bet. That's great. I probably have the best hand every time. So we're gonna call. Real question is, should I shove? Real question is, should I shove? I might be getting induced here. The fisherman's been talking in chat earlier that made me think they might be a little tricky. I'm going to call. I expect to win every time, but we might be against the nuts here. And I also don't know if they're going to call with jacks, tens, or nines if I shove, right? Tough one. You wanted to stop in and say hello. Well, glad to hear it. Thank you very much. You took second in a $500 tournament for $16,500. Good job, Dr. Mize. Nice to hear from you. What do you profit? What am I profiting right now? I don't even know. I don't keep track of that. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. About $500. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. We did okay at a $1, $2 game earlier while we were waiting on the tables to fill up. You lost with a straight flush last week, and there wasn't even a bad beat running. That's the worst bad beat. One time, I lost with 4 kings to 4 aces on Party Poker a long time ago in like 15-30 limit or something like that. And then the next week, they started a bad beat jackpot, and they seeded it with something like $1 million. So if I would have gotten 500K or something like that if I lost with that hand like a week later. Instead, I got minus $2,000 or whatever it was. Maybe not 2,000. Maybe it was like minus 1,000, something like that. If you get lucky shot taking, you may end up at higher stakes and you will be outclassed. That's if you get more money, it's fine. If you are shot taking, though, you have to be logical and move down if you start losing, clearly. Are you playing from US? Yes. CoinPoker does not use the US banking system. Jack 10 suited. Call or 3-bet. It's always rough if you get 4-bet. That said, maybe I should just put in the 4-bet. You think aliens are controlling anything pertaining to online poker? No, I do not. That said, I do not know. Bet and call. I mean, a call. I don't really see how it can fold. I think raising has some merit because we will get some protection. But the problem with that is that when we get a whole lot of action, we're just in very bad shape. I'm playing for US. Am I playing for US? Am I like on a team? This is weird. I have no clue what to make of this. This is a rough one. I'm going to put it all in. I'm going to tank and then call. Maybe make them think I have draw of some sort. River 3 is good. This might be too loose. They might just have like ace 10. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they have ace 10. If they check, how much should I bet? So like right here, you don't want to be thinking, ooh, what are they going to do? No, you need to be thinking, how much am I going to bet if they check? I think am I supposed to jam or click it? I thought clicking it might be okay, but that's only, I know it's only have 100, right? If I had like 180, maybe I'm supposed to click it or something. Here we're going to tank and then go all in. They snap. Ace 10. Notice we were screwed. Like right whenever they overpotted on the turn, if they're competent, like they shouldn't have overpairs, I don't think. They should have like 10x and draws. So that's a rough one right there where alarm bells were going off, to say the least. Did Justin Saliba have a normal job? He was going to college. I don't know if he had like a web marketing program he was doing on the side while he was going to college, and he wanted to help me. in exchange for poker help. How does transitioning from studying GTO to applying it in practice works? Look, check out peakgto.com, please. Check out peakgto.com, please, 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 please. Because there we have a trainer. It will very easily help you train what you are learning from the charts. And once you start training what you're learning from the charts, it is as if you're playing. And when you screw up, you'll get feedback in real time. Hey, you screwed up. Then you can go over there and you can study and get better, right? So definitely make a point to use a trainer, especially if you've studied the charts a lot. Just looking at the charts is not the same as getting in there and playing and implementing them like we discussed, right? So definitely do that. Train a lot. I mean, I spend a decent amount of time on the trainer and all sorts of no-limit hold'em tournament spots because, I mean, that's what I'm usually playing for the highest stakes. And you need to get very proficient at the spots you're very likely to be in. So, look, 10-9 suited normally wants to fold a lot to 3-bets, I think. It's not a particularly good hand. But at the same time, Jonathan Biggle, you know? Can't let Jonathan Biggle get away with biggling me. Well, we got a boat. It's not really what we want, though. Certainly not trying to fold a boat. If he checks, I think I'll check it back, because I don't think we want to get all the money in. Ugh. It's crazy. I've ran it all up from $50. Well, I put in $50, and then I took it very, 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 very slow. I always kept a decently big bankroll in relation to the games I was playing. And I never really took shots. And I probably give up a decent amount of value in exchange for always keeping my risk of ruin to the minimum. All right. Now, if he checks, who am I going to shove? Am I going to bet like half pot? Half pot would be cool. Third pot might be cool here. I don't know. I don't know. If he shoves, I'm going to fold, I think. That may sound crazy. Thank God he checked. Okay, now the question becomes, do I jam myself? Block pocket nines. Like right here, what are you trying to get called by? You're trying to get called by nines, eights, sevens, sixes, fives, or ace high. Remember, he bet big on the turn, so I lose a lot of my draws on the turn, right? So the question is will he call with nines, eights, sevens, sixes? The most likely one, I guess, is nines, right? And I block that. So I think I'm supposed to check this one. And again, like, he's not going to call a king high, right? So we don't care about the king high. There are a lot of spots that come up like that where, like, if you are trying to play good, strong, perfect GTO, some of these hands like that probably do shove. But I think a lot of people don't protect their checking ranges well enough. Not saying Jonathan Biggle doesn't do that. But I think if the opponent's not protecting their checking ranges well enough, meaning they're betting most of their good hands and checking most of their weak hands, that makes their range very weak and like just garbage heavy. And if it's garbage heavy, then I in turn don't get to value bet as wide because when they are checking, it's going to be like a super nut hand, right? Lots of calls of 3-bets. We got another one on this table too. Calling everybody's 3-bet. We flop nothing on every table. Call a 3-bet 3 times, flop nothing, nothing, nothing. All right. Nothing, nothing, nothing. All right. Ace, jack. Ace, 9. All these are like pretty bad hands. I'm going to check this one. I think I'm supposed to just fold this too. Did you miss why I'm playing 50-cent dollar? To play with my students. If you go and you play, if you say, oh, guys, I'm having a meetup game. It's 50, 100, no limit. You think I'd get a lot of people playing 50, 100, no limit? You think a lot of people play 50, 100, no limit? No, most people don't play 50, 100, no limit. If you want to play for stakes with your students, you can't play gigantic because most people don't have a ton of money. Also, I don't want to play for an amount of money that will actually wreck any of you. Now, I realize $100 will wreck some of you, but for a lot of you, if you lose $100, you're going to be okay. So I don't want to play for an amount of money that's going to wreck you if you lose, but I want to play for an amount of money that's going to, you know, be real. We'll go 7. I'm trying to think 6, 7, 8. Maybe 8's better. I'm not trying to wreck all of you, but I also want to play. Now, you may say, why not play 5 cent, 10 cent then? I don't know what the rake is on this site, but on most sites, the 5 cent, 10 cent rake is a bit too high. Here, we already looked at the rake. 5%, capped at 2.5 big blinds. That is a very, very, very reasonable rake. I would venture to say low. That is a very low rake on CoinPoker. I love that. I love low rake. So, this is excellent. But yeah, study GTO solvers. I mean, trainers. Train with a GTO trainer if you study the charts a lot. And to be fair, you don't even need to really study the charts before you hop in the trainer. Just hop in and start playing on the trainer, and it'll tell you you're getting a lot of spots wrong. And every time you get it wrong, pull up the chart and look at it. Pull up the chart, look at it. Pull up the chart, look at it. Pull it up over and over and over again when you're playing the trainer. PP for Life says, you never got a reply. Okay. Please, PP for Life, also send what you just sent here in an email to support@pokercoaching.com so that we definitely get it. You think smartphones make people dumber? You read the comments and the grammar is quite poor. Look, you got to realize a lot of people don't care about spending their time being perfect at grammar. While certainly you can spend your time being perfect at grammar. If you're a writer, a professional writer, you probably should spend your time getting perfect at grammar. If you're typing in the YouTube comment section, I think your goal is to get your point across quickly. Put it up. Done. Goodbye. Now, I, Jonathan Little, have to maintain pretty good grammar. As you see, I have these books. I'm known to be an author. I'm not known to be someone who's like, LOL, see ya, good night, friend. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? I have to be presented as an educator who has my act together halfway, even though I barely do. And for that reason, I try to make all of my writing good. One of my jobs at pokercoaching.com is to read everything and make sure the grammar is good. And when I catch something, we fix it. That said, don't worry about grammar. In terms of things you could actually care about, assuming you're not an author, I think grammar is minimal. Now, don't go around like some of the people on the poker Twitter who don't use capitalization or punctuation in their tweets. You need to be able to get the point across. Now, if there's confusion getting your point across, then you're probably making a mistake. You want to make sure that your point is presented clearly. If your point is not presented clearly, then you have an issue. But if your point is presented clearly to the point that 99% of people know what you're saying, it's perfectly fine. Do you feel like I should have jammed the river with the, where I had the 10? With King Jack, probably. It's a pretty good bluff in hand. It blocks King 10, it blocks King Jack, Jack 10, it blocks Kings and Jacks. You can't win at the showdown. It's probably a pretty good hand to bluff with. Now, would I have called or folded? I mean, I think I announced I was going to fold. So clearly you should have jammed. But oh, it felt bad. It would have felt bad. You know I like the call button though. You know I like the call button. You know we've been playing a little bit. You know when you're playing a little bit and I like the call button, it's probably fine to not bluff. We've been drinking straight carrot juice today, about 300 calories worth. Why? Because I'm out of green juice. Actually, I have a little bit of green juice left. I'm saving it for tomorrow morning. I've been on a health kick since I got back home in New York. I've been spending a lot of time in Vegas. Probably spend a little bit more coming up in the near future. And Vegas is rough on you sometimes. It's fun. It's fun. I can handle it. But it's rough. So having copious amounts of water and protein and vegetables and green juice. We'll 3-bet this, I guess. We could call. Go a little bigger because we are deeper. We'll bluff it. Why not? Paper Plate Parody says, you could have got me off the full house. You're so sad. As you should be. You may never get over this. You had the opportunity, one of the rare opportunities, to bluff Jonathan Little off of a full house. And I think I would have folded. For real. And you just didn't do it. Which is why me folding it would be so good, because no one bluffs. All right, we get 4-bet here. Call, right? You don't 3-bet the 6-5 suit, 7-6 suited to fold. Pretty good flop for me. Oh, this is so good. We're just going to win the 100 big blinds for free. It's so nice when they just give it to you for free. Literally free. As long as they don't turn the top full house, it is free. We got to fade the 10% time they smash me. I'm not going to bluff this. When they check call turn, they have a lot of flushes or an ace, right? And you don't really want to try to bluff them off a flush or an ace. Ooh, straight flush. Good no bluff me. I mean, look, it could be queens. On the river, I just don't want an ace or a king or a queen. Jack and 10 aren't great either. But ace, king, and queen are bad. Everything else is I win. Oh, God, queen on the river. It's never free. It's never free. Obviously, we're not folding on the river because it's kind of hard for them to have a queen. But, man, oh, man, what a run out. That's fun. Fun run out. If they have aces, should they shove? I don't know. Call. Come on, everybody. Not free at all. Punished for splashing around with a 7-6 suited and flopping trips. Guess we'll splash around again. Why not? Obviously a little loose. Everybody's like, oh, he's not GTO. He's not following the charts. A really good time, by the way, to get a little bit splashy is when you do just get stacked, because a lot of people will incorrectly presume that you are now loosey-goosey having a sandwich and trying to gamble. We're just trying to flop a set, everybody. We're just trying to flop a set. Nothing fancy. Oh, gosh. Where'd my other game go? I lost it. Oh, here it is. Okay. We get 4-bet. We got to fold. That's fine. 7-6 suited. I was going to say something that this guy... oh, what was his name? Who's the guy who says F me to tears? I forget his name. It'll come to me. Okay, half pot on the river. We beat some gut shots. We beat under pairs. We got a call, but I do expect to lose a lot. All right. I feel like the guy was like something shark, but it wasn't shark. Let me see if I can figure this out. Tough fish. Tough fish. Have you all seen Tough Fish? Not suitable for work. Everybody, YouTube Tough Fish and watch a few of the most popular Tough Fish videos as soon as we're done with this stream. TUFFFISH. Does it come up? Let me see if it comes up. I knew it would. I knew I could find it. Not suitable for work, everybody. Not suitable for work, okay? Yeah, Tough Fish. Broken 2 hands on stone cold tilt. Explodes on ultimate bet. F me to tears. I'm going to watch this as soon as we're done. Oh, God. Stuff's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. You think the number of early players in a tournament change late regging value? If the player pool is small early, is it beneficial to register late? I don't know. What do you mean? It's beneficial to register late because you're closer to getting in the money, but your edge is going to be quite small. Kenny Hollert made a late reg thing a long time ago. I forget if, oh, here's the link. Perfect. I'll post the link here in chat. It's this document on late registration. If you have any questions about late registration, this answers a lot of it. I would recommend you check it out. Long story short, I register on time, especially in games where they give you lower rake if you register on time, which is often the case in high stakes games. If there is no benefit to registering on time beyond you get to play with bad players, I often will show up whenever I want. In bounty tournaments, you definitely want to register on time. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, there's that link. You will run really good if you order a pizza. That's the secret to online poker. Oh, one of my leaks recently has been pizza and champagne. I don't know why I like pizza and champagne, but those are things I like to drink and eat. What side am I playing on? This is called CoinPoker. We have a tournament at pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. We will have another one this week, I promise. We don't have the timer updated yet. Go to that link, sign up. You'll get the best deposit bonus and the best rakeback CoinPoker offers, plus access to a weekly tournament with $1,000 added. We're also going to have cash game leaderboards. I'm not sure if these games are going to count or not. I think they will. Hope they will. We said it in Discord. I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Consider it a bonus. What did we say in Discord? Introducing the monthly leaderboard. However, earn points by joining the cash games. Top players at the end of the month get awesome prizes. Check the leaderboard updates and the cash game leaderboard channel. Are you ready to prove your skills? Okay. And then in our Discord, we have a leaderboard channel somewhere. Apparently, I really haven't looked into this. Sorry. I probably should have looked into this. Playing too many tables. Cash game leaderboard. Oh, look. We already had it. Join the cash game leaderboard. Our first ever cash game leaderboard is over. Congrats to the winners. Oh, wow. These people already got money. That's awesome. Ship it to them. The fisherman, who's here trying to wreck me today, literally won the leaderboard last month. When was this? I guess we had one last month. I didn't even know. That's cool. Poker Paw, all these other players all won some money. $250. Fisherman, did you get $250? That's cool. Anyway, it's March now. Like I said, I'm streaming 3 times in March, also on March 16th and March 30th. And maybe I'll win the leaderboard. Have you ever thought about that? Check, 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 flop. I think we can bet turn. It's kind of hard for anybody to have a 4. We really, really, really want protection here. Pretty much everyone's going to bet an overpair on the flop. Probably an 8. Oh, am I supposed to bluff this? This might be a check raise. I'm going to check. Hope they don't bet. They shouldn't bet very often at all. Maybe, I don't know. Hands to check raise the river with are hands that can win if it goes check, check, like my 10-7. But if we check and face a bet, they struggle to win. But they block your opponents from having a full house. Now there, the 7 does block the full house a little bit. But the 10's not really a good card because we kind of want them to have a 10, right? Because we want them bluffing with stuff or value betting thinly with like pocket 10s and will then fold to a raise. 3-bet 7-6 suited, flop the nuts, still dead on the turn. You're supposed to tilt now. Oh, I don't care about that one at all. So, interestingly enough, things that make people tilt vary clearly. I think, though, if you poll pretty much every good, strong poker player, they really only get unhappy when they make a play that they think is bad. I don't have a problem with any of my plays on any betting round in that 7-6 suited hand at all. 3-bet fine's fine, or 3-bet preflop's fine. Call the 4-bet's fine. Call flop, turns, flop, it's fine. Call turns, fine. Call off river's fine. All that's great. I did not play that hand poorly in the least bit. So, why should I care? Got unlucky. You're going to get unlucky sometimes. If you recall, though, I did have that, what was it, King 10 value bet or something earlier? Yeah. Somebody raised, I raised, somebody 3-bet, I called with King 10 suited, which I thought was already a little bit loose. Because I raised like under the gun, they 3-bet the big blind. Flop comes Ace King 5 or something. We'll splash again. Ace King 5 or something like that. Check. Turn was like another blank. Check. River was another blank. They checked to me. And I decided to go for half pot value bet. And I said it might be like too thin because they could easily have King Queen or King Jack. Turns out they did. And I value on myself. Like I was actually unhappy about that hand for like 4 minutes, which is 4 minutes too long. Because like in reality, it was a small pot. You know, I lost like 15 big blinds, whatever it is. Who cares, right? But maybe it's 20 big blinds, 30, but it doesn't make a difference. I lost some money. But it's a spot where, like, that's the kind of spot where you often see good players getting annoyed because maybe they screwed it up. But on that 7-6 suited hand, I don't think I screwed it up at all. If you don't screw it up at all, then why are you sad? Why are you unhappy about this? What is this? All right. Over here, we got a little something brewing. Oh boy. I don't really see how we can do anything besides be all in here. If I happen to lose, to say, okay. Maybe I'm supposed to call and get it in on safe turns, but right here they're going to have a lot of draws. It's a small blind, right? So they don't really have 10s all that often. And they also don't have 6s and 5s because I block those. And they don't have 10-6 and 10-5. So I think we can safely get it in here and be against a lot of draws. All right, 50-50. Run it twice. That's fun. In that spot, when we are against a set of 10s or a set of 6s or 5s, yeah, you're just going to lose your money. It's okay. I just reviewed this hand again. I think I made a YouTube video about it already. I reviewed it for, what are they called? Instagram Shorts, where it was like aces against middle set, against bottom set, against bottom 2 pair in a tournament, like 80 big blinds deep. And they got it all in, and the aces ended up winning. And the aces played it really poorly. They should have just like folded on the flop. They should have got out of the way immediately. 8, please. Oh, no. Oh, no. Way worse than an 8. Overcards. I'm sorry. Pair and flush draw. It's like pretty good. But we could be pretty dead. So I think the players should bet small, like 13, and then if we get like called and jammed or something, we can fold. Facing the small bet, I'm going to call. I would also call here with flushes, so we're going to be pretty well protected, but we could just be doomed. It's one of these spots where like, please just know my range is protected and don't bluff me like crazy. Please don't bluff me like crazy. Please don't bluff me like crazy. Please just put an 8 on the river so I can lose to quad 5s. All right. If the fisherman bets again, I'm going to fold. And the reason I'm going to fold is because fisherman can have all the overpairs, all the sets. And I've had a lot of 2s recently. What is happening? I'm going to fold it this time because he's a little short. I'm not going to bet if they check to me on the turn, I don't think. Is there a free month where you can try before you buy? You want a free month? You can get a monthly membership. You can pay for a monthly membership. That said, if you sign up and you don't like poker coaching for any reason, ask for a refund and I'll give you all your money back. If pokercoaching.com does not help you get better at poker, we do not want or deserve your money. Simple as that. Here we fold here. We're going to be against a lot of pairs, flushes, boats, and over here, a lot of ace high flush draw, king high flush draw, queen high flush draw. So we are not putting money in the pot. Oh my God. Oh, what a day, what a day. Make the good fold. Discipline fold. Like right here, am I mad about it? No, I'm just joking. This is like idiot Twitch streamer talk here. I'm very happy with my turn fold. This guy has a lot of flushes, and a lot of boats, and a lot of overpairs. Against that, I have 2 outs. When you have 2 outs, you don't want to put your money in, even if your 2 outs come in. I mean, there's some people who are like that to an extreme. They have like 7-2 offsuit before the flop, and they would have flopped 4 2s, and they're like, oh my God, how could I have folded? I'm never folding the 7-2 offsuit again, ever, 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 ever. The tough part is we're not even get to see what he has. Oh, we are going to get to see what he has. Aces! Pocket nines. Notice there? 2 outs going to the river. We got out of the way. Slid right out of that pot. Even though we would have won, excellent fold. Happy as can be about that one. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. With that, I'm going to sit out next big blind on these tables. It's been fun. We have another orbit or so left. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, suggestions, let me know. Sure is a shame we didn't stick around with the 8-8. Sure is a shame we didn't play badly, huh? Tough when you play well. We got stacked with our 7-6 playing well, and then we didn't get the stack by playing poorly, working against us. A lot of people look at that and say, oh man, poker's rigged, it comes this way, blah, 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 blah. And you got to realize, everyone, there's a lot of variance in poker. Welcome to No Limit Texas style. Kitty games down the street. I might check raise this one. Maybe, maybe not. Sure. It's good to check raise sometimes. Snap check. That's annoying. I think we can just go small. Check's fine too. Probably get raised out of my seat now. Negative self-talk. Get the negative self-talk out of here. There's no need for negative self-talk, Jonathan. On the river, we can bet or check. 10's going to maybe not even call, so I'm going to check to try to induce bluff from ace-high, king-high, queen-high. Not queen-high, ace-high, king-high mainly. And we have an easy call there if we do get action. Unfortunately, though, no bluff. Probably just a marginal 10 or maybe... who knows? When you do have swings, or perhaps you are, I'm not going to say tilting, but frustrated or whatever, take a breath, slow down, maybe take a minute off of your tables, you know, take an orbit off, stand up, stretch. Sitting in your streaming chair all day and just grinding for 3 hours straight is not a good idea. Jonathan Little can handle it, but a lot of people they can't be handling, they'd be go crazy. So when things go poorly, remain sane. It is vitally important that you remain calm. Keep calm and carry on. Oh, I'm tempted to bet, but I'm just going to check. Gosh, what a run out, huh? If he bets river, do I ever shove? I was going to be tempted to shove here. Now, the question is, do I bet the river? As a bluff. I think we beat a lot of ace-x. A queen or jack is never going to fold. Pocket 10s may not fold, so I'm going to check. Woo! Tricky, tricky. Tried to get me. If he bet the river there, I probably would have shoved on him, though. So, there, we probably saved a stack. That is, I'm a sucker for that nut flush blocker. Especially when, like, I can have it and they can't really. This is a weird one where, like, in GTO world, they should not have a whole lot of this. Because I raised early and they called. Whatever, just give it to them. They deserve it. Most players tilt because of the runouts, not because they play bad. Oh, I don't care about the runouts at all. I really, really don't. Hopefully you all can see from my demeanor here and how I'm handling this, that I don't care about the runouts at all. It really doesn't bother me. The only thing that really bothers me is bad play. Like if I do something that I think is maybe not good in retrospect. Because in reality, if you think about it, the only real reason you should be making a bad play at the poker table is because you don't know the right answer. If you don't know the right answer, it means you did a bad job of studying. And as a poker educator, hopefully I do a good job of studying, right? And so if I did a bad job of studying, that hurts. Because it means that I'm playing poorly. And now look, you're not going to know everything. You need to be forgiving of yourself. You will not know everything. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. None of us know everything. So you got to be forgiving of yourself. But at the same time, you do need to be critical, especially if you are trying to be actually good at poker. which I'm trying to do, and I think a lot of you are trying to do. So be critical of yourself. Don't beat yourself up in game. Let it go quickly. Study after the fact. On CoinPoker, you can send an email to their support. You can have all the hand histories emailed to you, so you can review them and hold a manager or whatever. So definitely do that. Just keep playing your session. You have to realize when you're playing a session, it's not really study time. It is implementing time. Away from the table is study time, and that's where you actually get good. You're not going to get a whole lot better at poker from playing poker. You'll get better slowly, but you're not going to get all that much better that quickly. To get good at poker, you got to study a lot. And that's where you get good. And anyway, whenever you get unlucky or whatever, don't worry about that because everyone's going to get unlucky. That's going to be it for today. I think we won $300. Nice little sprinkle despite getting stacked one time when we made the full house. Hope you all had enjoyed today. If you did, do me a favor. Click the like button below. Click the subscribe button below. Click the notification button below. Also, everyone, check out pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. I'm going to post the link one more time. Get in this, please. We are giving away free money, $1,000 each week. $1,000 gets added every week. We also have a $1,000 cash game leaderboard. Full details for that are in the Discord, the Poker Coaching Discord. Get in there. Get in the Poker Coaching Discord and crush it. Make sure you check out the announcements. The announcements is where we post all of this stuff. Like we posted about this stream. Got some action for sale on PokerStake. We have a blog explaining how our leaderboard is going to work. Justin Saliba set this up. I don't even know how it works. Congrats to the fisherman who's been battling in these games, who won it last month at $250. Anyway, look, we're giving away a bunch of money. We're giving away a bunch of money. Check it out. Enjoy it. Make good use of it. How do you watch this from the start? Go to youtube.com. Go to youtube.com. Make sure you type Tough Fish and watch his stuff. Go to Jonathan Little. That will bring me up. Click right here on Poker Coaching. Click on Live. This is on YouTube. And then click right here. This is our stream from today. The other day, Justin Saliba got in here and streamed all day. Here's another cash game stream for me where I did it from the start. Cash game stream with me and Justin. I think we actually won the bad beat jackpot in this. That was pretty cool. Or maybe that was this one. I don't know. Anyway, all of these, this is how you find live streams on YouTube. Poker is rigged. That's why only the best players win. Indeed. Poker is indeed rigged for the players who make the best decisions. Did you say Twitch streamer? I don't even know what you're saying. You can watch this on Twitch, but I recommend YouTube. That's it for today. Good luck in your games. Have fun. Click the like and subscribe button down below. Click the notification bell. Please, please, please check out pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. Get in the game. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you have a wonderful week. My next stream will be March 16th at... What time did I decide? 11 p.m. Pacific time. Probably. We might change the time. Who knows? Good luck. Have fun. I'll talk to all of you next time. Bye-bye.